All right, Turtle fans, we get today what is potentially sad but awesome. Potentially the final wave of Turtles Classics figures from Playmates. As we know, they announced during Toy Fair that they lost the license. I think Mattel is taking that over moving forward on Turtles products. So unclear on the fate of classic Turtles figures since Playmates owns the molds. I don't know. Those probably are not transitioning over. But at the same time, Playmates is planning a panel at SDCC this week with Turtles news. So maybe there are some last minute announcements. We did get that last minute or that really unannounced remaster of the Rocksteady and Raph 2-pack. So maybe they'll have a Bebop before the end of the year. We're hoping we get one more remaster figure. Maybe we'll get one more wave of classics figures. Who knows? I mean, we still have the tank and the parachute trooper coming out. But yeah, we're not anticipating other figures at this point. This might be the final wave. And even this one took a long time to get the collector's hands. We're on our way to August now, so it would be kind of surprising if they ship something third quarter or fourth quarter. But we'll see. We'll see what they announce. Maybe they have something ready to go really quick. We still have the second wave of Godzilla figures who haven't hit stores yet. Those are on their way. But I don't know. I don't know if we're getting. I'm kind of skeptical we're going to get more classic figures. It would be amazing. But this might be it. And we're on a bad wave to go out on. I mean, we got some amazing characters here. Worm, Anthrax, Scale Tail. We got Chrome Dome, Usagi Yojimbo over here. I always mess up that name. But a lot of fan favorites, a lot of really cool villain and hero characters here. Definitely some of the more interesting designs. I remember Worm being just such a colorful character. I loved it. So we are getting some really awesome ones on the way out. Definitely not finishing the original series. I would have loved to have a Pizza Face and Ground Chuck and Dirtbag. So those are some of the classic characters I loved in there. But we are getting some really cool characters here. So not the worst wave to go out on. So these four came in a box. And I showed you, we did a little short. You can check out the unpackaging of this in our shorts reel. So you can get these together. This guy did not. You have to find him out in the wild, which is a pain because I believe he was in pretty short supply. I think originally he was supposed to be packaged with these four, and this was the wave, and they added Yojimbo like later on in the wave, and then he became part of these four. And this guy got, you know, the shaft and was tossed out on the side. You're just gonna have to really look hard for him. Hopefully, he'll make it to shelves later this summer. But there was like a resurgence of him in the spring, and then he just disappeared. So I'm not sure what's going on with that one. We'll ask Playmates if we get a chance. But yeah, I mean, we got this is widely available on fan channels. You get this 4-pack, so not too difficult to get these guys at least. So I appreciate they put them in a 4-pack because finding these on shelves is really, really, really hard. I would have preferred a 5-pack, but yeah, so you can grab them right now. But let's get into it, check them out, and we'll do some comparisons to the original. I don't have the original figures on hand, but we'll check out the packaging and see where we are with all the accessories, because as we know, we have seen a lot of variety and shifts in how some figures capture all the original accessories while some others miss a couple of the original accessories. We're going to start with the villains first, and I want to say with every single figure they did, they captured every single accessory this time. Very happy with the way these turned out. And if you look at the card back, with all of them, with the exception of, I think, maybe just Chrome Dome, they even put the weapons in the same way they were in the figures. So looking at Scale Tail here, the original, they captured all the weapons, and they have the original card back. Like, it was really nice. I mean, it might be missing that little, what do you call it, the little voice, the little word box from how they're speaking. But other than that, everything is captured. Now, very interesting design of this guy. I don't think he stands very well. He's got a little platform. There we go. So his one arm is snakes. His other arm is all scaly. He's got knives and stuff on it. He's got the gun coming out of his mouth is like a tongue. You could, I guess, manipulate that left and right with moving his little cobra hood in the back here. And then he's got his little armor on, and then he's got his tail that has a gun on it, and with more snakes. So it's got a really interesting look. So he came with a couple of things. One, he's got this, like, you know, jetpack, because why not? It should go right here on the with the hole. It should line up with the holes there, and it's curved a little bit so that it should fit in there. Although this one's fighting me on it, but there it goes. Okay, yeah. So those are the holes that it goes in. So then he can wear his jetpack. He's got a little gun here that you put on the wrist, and it's got a scope, a sight, and you can see rounds out here. I guess this would be the wrist because there's really no wrist on the other one. He's got a whip right here that looks like a little rattle tail at the end of it, so you can put that in his hand. And then you have another gun here. This one specifically fits in the hand, but then braces onto the wrist, so you could do something like this and give him like more of a traditional looking weapon. All the same color as they were in the original, so you get a lot of variety in terms of what you could do here with his whip, with his cannons and whatnot. And he's got that multi-part tail with the gun on the tail. So they really captured the look of Scale Tail here, giving him a whole host of accessories and that weirdness that he came with him. If I could get the other part of the jetpack to snap in, doesn't really want to, but anyway, that is Scale Tail. Great job with him, really close to the original. Love it when they do that. Don't have any like variety in the paint tones or anything. So they did a great job with Scale Tail. Continuing with our look at the villains, we're going to go over to Anthrax next. Tough one if you didn't have it in the original collection. I think quite a premium online now to get him. Again, exactly capturing all his accessories, exactly capturing the way he looked in the package, even the way that the accessories are displayed out. So love that when they kind of keep it as close to the original as they can. He's one of those guys that didn't have a flat foot, but you had to put him up on his heel like some of the turtles, making it very hard to pose. But based on an ant kind of character, he's got all the call-outs that the original had that make him look like that weird sort of mutated ant. And he had 3 accessories. He had a like ball and chain accessory that you could snap onto his wrist, something like that. He had a club that you could put in his hand here like this, or I guess any one of his hands because they're all weapon holding hands. And then he had this long axe with a little rope at the end that you could put, I guess, in 2 hands if you wanted to, and have that displayed. But that's really it for Anthrax's accessories. This one is a little trickier to get into a hand. But here we go. And then you had that rope at the other end of it. And the wrist rotates, so you get a little variety there. But this one was weird. The ball and chain one was weird. I guess more of an ankle weapon, like a skip it. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, great job on Anthrax. Again, really looks like the original. Kept all the coloring, kept all the accessories. So great job on that one, Playmates. Loving it. Particularly, I didn't have Anthrax as a kid, and I'm not going to pay crazy amounts of money now for it. And then last but not least, we're going to have Chrome Dome. I keep wanting to say Silver Samurai, but that is Marvel. So Chrome Dome has all his original accessories. His packaging differed from the original in terms of how they displayed him in it with the accessories, but he has all of those original accessories, which was his longer sword, his short sword, and his wicked sai here, and then his, I don't know, multiple morning stars on a handle here. He's got his little wings. He's got that, I forget what that's called. It's not vacuum form, but this like chrome plating on the figure. Now he has his belt too. Now the weird thing about the belt is you could holster the swords in there. There's room for you to do it. You can see the slots, but because it's right against the armor, like there's no way to get that angle without bending the weapons, and I'm not going to do that. I kind of feel like that was the original too. So they didn't improve that design by giving it a little space for it to come out. There's really no way to do it. I guess you could spin it around and put him in front, but that's even weirder because he's got these wings on there. So again, he's another one with the flat angled here, so you have to kind of find that way to position him to get him the balance, something like this. So he's got more of a fighting stance instead of just a straight stance there. So we'll put his little Texai thing here in one hand and his longsword in the other. But that is your Chrome Dome essentially, and you have a couple other weapons. So yeah, I mean, they nailed it. I mean, it's exactly what he looks like. There's no difference there in the figure really, and they essential that they got this look. Like not a lot of figures like to go back to this plating look. They go to like a off silver kind of paint, not the metallic sort of chrome look. But you need that for Chrome Dome, right? So Yeah, I'm glad this is. I think this is the second Chrome Dome figure we got this year. Of course, we got one from the new animation style, but this is our true Chrome Dome. So still have his turning head, his arms, still have the articulation there. But does he have wrist? No, he doesn't have wrist articulation. So yeah, that is our Chrome Dome again. Really nailing the look, keeping it true to the original. This figure is awesome. Really kept that whole paint scheme up, so I appreciate that. And he's got his other accessories. Okay, let's go over to the good guy side. We're going to start with Usagi here. Again, nice job. They really nailed it. He was more of a simple design. He had a lot of color applications, though, because he had all that armor on him. So they really nailed that look to him. That they get the classic look with all the armor, all the paint applications. A little easier to display because you get the wider base. He came with the wacky weapons rack that had all the weapons on it. So he has all his core weapons that he had in the original figure, including pizza knife. Everyone had pizza knife back in the day. I don't know what that's called. I like to call it pizza knife. He had his long staff with a spear on it. He had his little short knife, short sword, and then long sword. So, and they were all the same color, just like the turtles. His accessories kind of mirrored the turtles. They had and he's got his arm that turns. They had them essentially in that rack too. So he was very similar to how the turtles were packaged in terms of their accessories, and even has the same color, same style. So they really kept that. So that's pretty cool. So you have your character here with all his armor plating, with his assortment of turtle-esque weapons. And he's the good guy, so the weapons kind of match in there. But to be fair, Bebop and Rocksteady also had them in wacky weapons racks, so that was just the thing at that first wave back then. But he came in a much later wave, but he still had that same sort of stylistic nature to him with the weapons. So now you're adding him to your hero collection. It's been a while since we got a hero. I think we just did a lot of villains the last wave of characters. I recall that being mostly villains, because it was like Mutagen Man and I don't know, Mondo Gecko in that way. I can't remember, but yeah. So it's nice to get some more heroes, regardless. But the villains are the cooler looking characters. So okay, so that's enough with the rabbit. Now we have one of my favorite, and that's going to be Worm. Worm, they really nailed it. They got the original design there. His mouth still opens. Yay! I'm glad we have that articulation there. He's wearing his little belt. His hand that are worm fingers. He's got his one leg that looks like a tentacle there. So he really has the look of Worm. And look, the eyes still bulge out when you move the hairpiece, which is really cool that they kept that feature in there. They could have easily just skipped it, but they kept that full functionality of multi-part in there for the eyes. I love that. That is essential for Worm. That made him stand out. As do his wacky accessories. He has all of them. He's even displayed in the package the same way. So he has his wrench here that fits in the one hand. He has his weird, I don't know, sai that looks like it's a animal or something that is making up the sai. So those were his core accessories. And then he comes with worms. He comes with 6 worms. And he originally came with 6 worms. So unlike Mutagen Man, where they were missing one of the tiny little yellow parts that go inside of them, this has all the original 6 worms. I'm not sure what you were supposed to do with these. I know some people put them in the mouth, or they put them just around the body there. But you can. You just got to cut them off of the, with some sprue cutters, take them off of here. And then you have your original worms. So again, great job with Worm. Absolutely love it that they got the functionality here. They have all his parts, so you can do a full Worm. Everything for Usagi here, everything for Scaletail here, everything for Anthrax here. Like, they really captured all of the original parts, all of the original design, everything. Nothing was skimped in this final wave. Hopefully not the final wave, but more likely than not the final wave from Playmates. For now, we'll see what happens in the future. But yeah, so we got all these classic characters back, and they are true to form. So if this is the end, Playmates is going out on a high note because they really kept these true to form this time. There's no variation in the accessories. There's no missing accessories. There's no weird paint applications like we saw with Rat King where they changed up the eyes. This is very true to form. Original molds, original paint applications, original functionality, all original accessories, and even packaged almost exactly like they were. Even the card backs are very similar to what they were. So great job all around on this. We're really happy with how these turned out. Glad to finally get them, and they made it easy to get most of these by putting this much into one set. So you get, Anthrax, Killtail, Worm. I could see those selling out individually on the shelves very easy. I could see them like running a excess of Usagi here. So that's probably why they packaged them in that set. But you get all these very easily, very widely available. This guy is going to be tricky. I occasionally saw him pop up on Walmart, but he's mostly secondary market now. So he's going to be tricky to track down. I will ask Playmates this week at San Diego if they're going to be restocking him or how we're going to be able to get him. I'm going to guess it's probably going to be fall because of shipping delays. So patience. Maybe you don't have to pay crazy prices for him. So you should be able to get him on shelves hopefully soon. But we'll see. The only other classic characters that are out there right now are at San Diego Comic-Con. They have a classic, if you remember it was the anniversary Leo, was in sort of like that gold-plated figure. So they have that, but they extended it to all the characters, and then there's varieties where you get them in silver or gold or whatnot. So they kind of took that to the next level, but it's the classic character, the classic turtle design in that sort of trophy format. So that would be the only other classic thing. And then at Toy Fair, we showed you guys they had the parachute accessory that they will be releasing, and the classic turtle tank, which will be the last vehicle that we know of. We'll see what's going to be revealed at the panel. That should answer our questions for the rest of the year. But they did a surprise remaster drop of Rocksteady, so you never know. But this is the last year, so we're closing in the back half of the year. There shouldn't be too many more surprises, but we'll see. And then we'll see what Mattel's doing with the line next. So that's all for this time. Like, subscribe, and follow. See you guys next time.